Every gardener knows that earthworms are nature's secret workforce. They aerate the soil, improve drainage, and leave behind castings that are richer in nutrients than almost any fertilizer you can buy. But here's the challenge. You can't just dump a handful of worms into your raised bed and expect them to thrive. Worms only stay where conditions are right, and more importantly, where food is abundant. So, how do you create a raised bed environment so irresistible that worms flood in and stick around? The answer lies in sprinkling one simple, natural ingredient that worms absolutely can't resist. Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly what it is, why it works, and how to use it in your own raised beds. Stick with me, because once you start doing this, your soil will never be the same again. Worms don't chew on hard roots or tough stems. Instead, they thrive on soft, decomposing organic matter and the microbes breaking that material down. When you sprinkle the right organic material on your raised bed, you're not just feeding worms directly, you're feeding the entire soil food web. Bacteria and fungi break it down first, and worms follow quickly behind, devouring the softened matter and spreading those nutrients throughout your soil in the form of castings. This process is what transforms lifeless beds into loose, fertile, and living soil. The single best ingredient to sprinkle on your raised bed if you want to attract earthworms fast is alfalfa meal. Alfalfa meal breaks down quickly once it's in contact with soil moisture, creating the perfect buffet for microbes. As microbes multiply, worms move in to feed on both the decomposing matter and the thriving microbial community. What you're really doing is setting the table for an explosion of soil life, and worms never miss that invitation. Using alfalfa meal couldn't be simpler. Start with a light sprinkle across the top of your raised bed. About a cup per square foot is plenty. For an even stronger effect, combine alfalfa meal with a thin layer of finished compost or shredded leaves on top. This creates a mulch layer that keeps moisture steady, holds in warmth, and ensures the alfalfa breaks down at just the right pace for worms to enjoy. A lot of gardeners toss food scraps into their raised beds thinking it will draw worms. While it can, it also risks attracting rodents, flies, or creating unpleasant odors if not buried properly. Worms will move toward it without hesitation, and you'll see healthier plants as a result, because alfalfa releases growth hormones and natural triacontanol, a compound known to stimulate root development. In other words, you're not just feeding worms, you're supercharging your crops too. One sprinkle of alfalfa meal will bring worms, but maintaining them requires consistency. Make a habit of adding a light dusting every few weeks throughout the growing season. Pair it with organic mulches like straw, shredded leaves, or grass clippings to maintain the moist environment worms need. Over time, your raised bed will become a permanent home for worms, not just a temporary feeding station. The result is soil that stays loose, well aerated, and rich in nutrients year after year. Sprinkling alfalfa meal may seem like a small step, but it's one of the most powerful things you can do to transform your raised bed into a worm paradise. It works by feeding the microbes, which in turn attract the worms, which then enrich the soil with castings. The cycle keeps repeating, and the longer you do it, the healthier and more productive your raised beds become. Worms are nature's partners in gardening, and with a little encouragement, they'll do more for your soil than any bagged fertilizer ever could. If this tip was helpful, be sure to subscribe to Gentle Herb Living for more natural gardening strategies and timeless soil building secrets. And don't forget to share this with another gardener, because every raised bed deserves to be alive with worms.